My friends, today we're going to learn about a couple of new words. Inflammation, right? Inflammation is ouch, pain, swelling inside the body. The second one is intestinal hyperpermeability or gut leakage. I'll do a little two-part segment as we open today's show on gut leakage, right? Then Dr. Ken Hunter out of the University of Nevada School of Medicine and Frank and Mark, his associates, are going to be talking about inflammation, ouch, swelling. What helps with that? I take beta-glucan every day. Okay, they'll talk about that. Dr. Mukesh Saraya is here to say you can take all the antifungals in the world you want, but unless you're following the diet, it is almost for naught. All that and more on Know the Cause. This show is brought to you by the NSC Company. When you can't, beta-glu can. My name is Doug Kaufman. For the past 40 years, I've dedicated my life and even my career to finding the root cause of disease. Join me in a team of physicians, pharmacists, and scientists, and soon you too will know the cause. You know, my career is labeled as illustrious. I mean, it's amazing. I worked for an ear, nose, and throat physician after I got back from the war. And then I worked for a dermatologist. And total of, 5 and 4, maybe 9 years, I did clinical work with various doctors, clinical nutrition work. Here's the fun stuff. I learned back in Los Angeles with the ear, nose, and throat doctor that these people would come to the window where the nurses were and they'd say, hey, could we hurry it up today? I'm just here for an allergy shot. And then I have to get to the brain doctor. And then I have to get to the bone doctor. And then I got to go to the gynecologist. And then my knees hurt. They took the whole day off to run to various doctors. Here's what we found. The majority of those people had not so much gut, joint depression, bloating, belching, gas, constipation, diarrhea, indigestion, GERD, what we call it today. We didn't have a name for it back then. But it's interesting. Here there were ear, nose, and throat and allergy patients, and they had those problems. Went to work with a doctor here 30 years ago in Dallas. Same thing. He was a skin doctor. But now I knew to ask the people, can I just ask you, and hello, my name's Doug, and what's your name? Do you have bloating, belching, gas, constipation, diarrhea, indigestion, GERD? Yeah, but I'm here for psoriasis. They don't get it. Once you fix this, called the gut, you can fix all of this, and that's what I'm here to teach you today. Let's learn a little about this tissue we so affectionately call the gut. It's a long, muscular, 25-foot tube, literally from the esophagus down to the anus, in the body of a person or an animal through which food moves during the process of digesting it, right? What could possibly go wrong? You've got a 25-foot tube. What could go wrong with that? Someone once told me if you unraveled that, it would cover a tennis court. One person, right? That's a huge amount of real estate. Okay, now what could go wrong? Look at this. The terrain, the interior of our intestine. It holds about 2 to 4 pounds of microorganisms, both good and bad. There's about 10 times as many bacteria and yeast living in your gut than all other cells of your entire body. And folks, we learned not long ago that 70% of your immune system plus lie right here. So woe is the physician that tells you your symptoms don't have anything to do with your food, with your diet. Woe is he. Where does your food sit? Right in the guts. Where do we park it for a day or so? In the gut. If a doctor doesn't know that food plays a role in your illness, find another. I mean, there's plenty of new doctors out there who are now understand this. I tried to find an early reference, and this is quite early, 1988, about gut leakage, okay, because that's a real phenomenon. I saw it back in the 70s, I thought. There is now irrefutable evidence that small amounts of intact peptides and proteins, food, do enter the circulation under normal circumstances. And this is a slide I give to doctors, so I said, normal circumstances? Is gut leakage really a normal problem? Folks, when you have so many people running to so many doctors with so many health problems, go back into the waiting room with those patients that the doctors had. Doug, got to get moving along. 3 more doctors this afternoon. Not one of those I'm telling you guys, they have twice my IQ. They graduated from medical school, right? Really, really smart people. Not one of them who heard that, hey doc, I got to get rolling here. 4 more office visits. Could understand that the human body is glued together with the basis being biochemistry. Biochemistry is what that burger converts to inside your body. So start pouring strychnine in and see how long you'll live. Why are doctors telling us it's irrelevant? You know what makes me maddest is, most mad maybe, when you walk into an oncologist's office and there's 100 people getting chemotherapy and they're eating a Hostess Twinkie, drinking a diet soda. That is almost, I can't even tell you what I think when I see that. We have to come to our senses. Maybe that's what you ate to get the diseases. Yesterday's news, folks, when you have a disease that is life-threatening, think of this 25-foot muscular tube. Change that, and very often you change the disease, the role of the disease, right? If you stop that. Now, when we get back, I want to continue talking a little bit about the gut and some of its inhabitants, because there are many, many of them. Some may even surprise you. Fungus? Yeah, you were born with good yeast. Let's keep it. Nobody's going to say this because so often health shows are underwritten by the pharmaceutical industry. They buy billions of dollars worth of advertising. But I think leaky gut has much to do with this. As a matter of fact, it's well known that non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs, play a role in gut leakage, gut bleeding and gut leakage. So I used to ask people when they came to see me for a first visit, bring the supplements you're on and bring the medications. And I kid you not. Very often it was more than these. They would bring in a shopping bag, all the medicines that they were on. So what I want to do is try and teach you now a little bit more about leaky gut, okay? Science is now, look at the date, 2015, pediatric diabetes. Science is now supporting that a leaking intestine may be at the core of many health problems. Duh. A recent headline stated the role for gut permeability, that means leakage, in the pathogenesis, the start of type 1 diabetes. Did you hear that? They're now linking leaky gut with starting diabetes in children. Okay, let's talk about that a little bit because folks, if you could, remember spackle? Did you ever help mom and dad paint a room and you got that little box of white stuff you mix with water and a putty knife and it spackles up where all the nails were in the house, right? It was magic. We don't have a spackle for inside our body, and don't pick up a box of spackle and drink it. That's not how it works, okay? But here's what we do know. Know the cause of your intestinal leakage. Sometimes, believe it or not, stress, and I don't mean a little stress like somebody tapping into you in a parking lot. I mean stress like, you know, you've got a sick one at home with Alzheimer's and you've been with them 2 years, chronic stress. Intestinal infections, there's your good old fungus. Medications, antibiotics, I'm convinced, and non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, totally convinced. Poor diet, thereby letting mycotoxins in. Excessive alcohol, they are mycotoxins. Environmental contaminants, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So understand the cause of that leakage and you'll have a good run at trying to fix it. Now there's a test that exists according to a 2000, and this still exists today, the year 2000 Annuals of Clinical Biochemistry. It's called lactulose mannitol testing. The doctor can order it. It's a 6-hour urine test. If the levels are high, then leaky gut exists. I've always said, look, if I'm bloating, belching, gas, constipation, that's the way I live my life. Who needs a test, right? You can have 6 hours of my urine and you're gonna find gut leakage. So finally, fixing a leaky gut. To change gut terrain, you must change what you put in it. Change your diet. Follow the Kaufman diet for a period of time, a month, 2 months, 3 months. Next, psyllium seems to be nature's spackle for the gut. Psyllium, P-S-Y-L-L-I-U-M, Poop Doc, the company that advertises here, has blonde psyllium with some really good components. It's just a powder that you mix in a little water, shake it, shoot it down before you go to bed at night. Probiotics, colostrum, turmeric, chlorophyll, and other safe supplements also seem to help seal up a leaky gut. But again, let's go back to how we started this. Woe is the doctor who says, yeah, you got leaky gut, but don't change your diet. You've got to change the terrain of the gut in order to fix it. I would do psyllium hulls or psyllium husks for months and months and months. It encourages regularity and it binds these mycotoxins, fungal debris, in your body. And then drink lots and lots and lots of water. When it's warm outside, be outside. Sweat a lot, work out, change your world by changing your lifestyle and your diet and fixing a leaky gut. Whether you know the cause or not, you need neck muscles. Here's Daniel to teach you how to work them out.
So I was talking to Doug about this the other day about neck pain, and if you're sleeping, in a hotel room, or if you're traveling, or if you try to catch some Z's on a plane and you wake up and it's like, oh wow, and you get neck tension. Well, what can you do? If you're out of your element and you're not near your chiropractor, you don't have to just suffer through walking around saying, looking like this for a couple days. There are some things you can do. So take a pillow, or 2 pillows in this case. Come on over to the wall with me real quick, and I'm gonna show you what I do when I have a little neck pain or a little neck tension. I'm using pillows wide enough so that when I put my right ear on the wall like this, that my neck is straight. If I didn't have the second pillow, my head would be in there like this too tight. So I use the second pillow to go ahead and give myself space. Now what I wanna do is pull my shoulder blades down, creating a really nice stretch here, or in this case, on this side here, okay? Maybe I hold the pillow, just like so. And then I wanna lean, I wanna take my right ear in to the wall like this. And you should feel an amazing stretch on the right side of your neck, all the way in. Shoulder blades are low, that's the most important thing. Pull the shoulders down and lean in like this. So maybe 3, 4, 5 at a time, and then you're gonna switch where you're facing forward, readjust your pillows, shoulders low, and then just lean back. And you'll feel this great release of tension all the way on the back. And then we'll go ahead and do the other side, which I'm going to omit right now. But maybe the most important one is forehead on the pillows here, so you can really take care of the front of the neck like so. I go ahead and put my forehead right there in the middle pillow. Again, shoulders low. If you approach it like this, you're not getting a good stretch. So I bring my shoulder blades down, and then I fall in like this. 1, 2, 3, and you'll see and feel the front of your neck muscles right here getting a really good stretch. Now, all of a sudden, I feel good. I feel open. I feel like I've got some endorphins flowing through my neck, and I don't have my headache anymore, which might have been just a neck ache. So the next time you wake up and you've got a crick in your neck or whatever, you're not out of luck. There are some things you can do to pump some blood back in and to give yourself some relief. So if it's not a pillow, or maybe a wadded up something or other, a piece of clothing, or anything that will provide you resistance, just go ahead and stand up tall, pull the shoulder blades low, and then rock left, right, front, and back. And hopefully that'll help you to eradicate some of your dis-ease and your pain. As always, thank you so much for joining us. We love seeing you here. I'm Daniel Crouch for Lifestyle Moment on Know the Cause.
Okay, a little bit on the immune system with a real immunologist. Dr. Ken Hunter joins us now from the University of Nevada School of Medicine. He's a microbiologist, immunologist, an incredible man. I just got to meet him after learning of him for some 20 years. And while Frank is here, I want to talk a little bit about what most of you are going through, right? The inflammation problem in your body and the use of something called beta-glucan, because it's been researched. Welcome, Dr. Hunter, and thank you so much. Good to be here. Teach me a little bit about that ouch, that inflammation that goes on and how this product might help.
Well, beta-glucan is taken orally, and people don't understand about the immune system and its anatomy, and we use the term mucosal immune system, and the areas of your body, like your gastrointestinal system, your respiratory system, your urogenital system, are all lined by this group of cells that forms a mucosa. And underneath that is the largest component of your immune system. 75% of your immune system resides in that area, particularly in the gastrointestinal system. And so when you take a product like glucan and it's given orally, the component of the immune system that is responding to that is the mucosal immune system. And we've done research over the last couple of years that's basically demonstrated how this particulate glucan is actually recognized by the mucosal immune system, how that material is transferred to the immune cells that lie just below the surface, and how glucan actually stimulates that immune system. And we found some very interesting things. Perhaps the most important, and I think it's of great concern to people who take glucan, because it over the years, if you read the literature, in scientific literature, it basically states that glucan is an inflammatory material, and it does have that property. And under certain circumstances, inducing inflammation is a great thing. It can help, glucan can help the immune system recognize and get rid of bad pathogens that might be in that region. But what we've found and others is that glucan then, almost immediately after it does its pro-inflammatory action, it shuts down inflammation by releasing a variety of mediators that bring everything back to a balance. We say the word homeostasis to mean balance. And so that's what that's the biggest breakthrough, I think, recently with glucan, is that it has both of these properties that keep us in balance.
Did you know that 20 years ago?
I knew when I hurt, and I knew not much stopped it.
Yeah.
Let's just say inflammation doesn't cause infection. Infection, along with a lot of other pathogens, can cause inflammation. Inflammation's an alert system. It's an alarm going off saying your body needs repair. Then you need somebody to turn the alarm off and send the fire trucks home. And that's what we're learning, that we not only have, I guess, what you would call a stimulatory effect through something called TNF-alpha, but it just means that your body reacts. But then you need what's called an inhibitory also, which means to inhibit from continuing to create those flames that cause the pain and other things. This does both. It helps you to both be aware and get inflammation to the degree you need, and then to shut it down when it's done its job and needs to go home. And it does that through the mucosal membrane. And we talk micronized. That's very important also, because these receptors, we've now found there's receptor sites on the transport mechanism from the gut back over to the immune cells, the same one that's on the immune cells, called Dectin-1. Well, if that needs to be 1 to 3 microns, why wouldn't you want it micronized to get a more uniform, more extensive, and more rapid immune response from the glucan taken orally? And we're studying how it works, why it works, and where it works.
Folks, what they're talking about with these receptor sites is a catcher's mitt, right? And a lot of the glucan is so large, it won't go in the catcher's mitt. So micronized or nanoparticulate, tiny, this is what the company does. The only company I know that's doing this is they make it so tiny, it catches onto the receptor site, and then it's most beneficial in helping you with your inflammation, right? That's kind of how it goes.
I think that's a good explanation,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you guys both so much for being here today. 20 years of work together, 1997. Thank you for your work. Thank you for beta-glucan. Hey friends, joining me right now for the next 5 minutes, do you know anyone who snores? Do you know anyone who is constantly full of phlegm, who constantly is clearing their throat or gets up in the morning and just blows and blows and blows and blows their nose? Tell them to tune in. Give them a quick shout. Say, you've got to watch this. Or you can watch it again on knowthecause.com. Dr. Mukesh Saraya has become a good buddy of mine. We find ourselves from time to time on half-hour phone calls as he's driving home from the hospital. He is board certified both in pulmonary medicine, lungs, and internal medicine, so he's a smart guy. A year ago or so, he came in here and met me with a friend of his, Bennett, and I said, listen, tomorrow is a Saturday. I'm giving a talk on fungus. Would you go? And he said, yeah, I'll go. Wow, what a difference a year makes.
Changed everything for me.
Yeah, do tell, because before you were still doing bronchoscopies. How is it different now?
Well, what's different is I've always known that there was a higher and higher incidence of fungus, cultures that were coming back. And I would have to choose and pick, who I treated, because back then, even today, most pulmonologists would look at these and consider these to be contaminants or innocuous, where it's not really what the problem is.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
And attending the course, going through all that, I'm beginning to realize that it's much more, than just a contaminant, and starting to treat patients with antifungals, itraconazole, voriconazole, Cresemba, which is a new medicine specific for Aspergillus. But I don't believe that I was getting the results that I wanted up until I finally, started talking to my patients about the diet, the phase 1 diet, which basically eliminates, the brewer's yeast, bread and so on, wheat. And the difference that I saw in a matter of days on my patients was absolutely astounding, to a point where there is, like, conventionally patients will be treated with antibacterials, antibiotics.
Cortisol.
Cortisol. A lot of patients that go to the doctors will get treated with antibiotics and steroids. And really, I now believe that what was helping those patients was not the antibacterials as much as the anti-inflammatory in the form of prednisone. As soon as the prednisone course was over, they go back to the way they were, with the coughing and the hacking and so on. So my concern right now is also too much over-treatment of antifungus. Most of these fungi have not really been studied with this antifungals. They say it may help, may not help. It's not very clear how long to treat that either. And a lot of these medicines are extremely expensive. To the tune of $10,000 a month or something like that. And most of these need to be treated for 2 or 3 months to totally eradicate. What I'm now seeing after having met you, Doug, and listening to your work, is that the diet has a lot to do with why they keep on getting sick. They continue to produce all this mucus. Even after I've removed it, 2-3 days later, they're full again. As long as they don't change the diet, they keep on filling up. So going back to what you just asked me, how am I managing it now?
Yeah.
So a lot of patients, while they're waiting for assistance from the drug company to give them a $10,000, kind of drug, which they can't afford, most insurance don't want to cover it, I'm putting them on a diet. And so often in the last, few months that I've been doing this, I can tell you patients are coming back well, even before they get the antifungals. And I'm so happy and glad for that, because I've been acutely aware of the fact that over-treating anything, be it bacterial, be it fungus, we are going to create more monsters.
More resistant.
More
bugs,
resistance. Yeah, we're getting into that dangerous area. Where now antibacterials are not working. We have limited number of antibacterials, and more resistance is coming out. So I think it's imperative for a physician to really know the cause. How appropriate your title is here. Know the cause and treat it. We cannot allow this ongoing, antibacterial after antibacterial without understanding what we're doing.
Here's a doctor who now you can go into his office and get what? Antifungal properties of plants. You can learn about the Kaufman diet. He's right here in Denton, Texas, and he's one of a growing group of doctors who get it, who know the cause. His practice has changed, his life has changed because of this information. But most importantly, his patients' lives have been changed for the better. Thank you, Dr. Soraya.
Thank you, Doug, for your work. Great work.
Here's the one I take every day, the green, beta-glucan NSC 100. If you had to take one supplement for your immunity, that's it, folks. And I do take it every day, and you can too. This is coming to you free. If you've never gotten this envelope full of beta-glucan, it's yours free. They'll even pay postage. Telephone number is on there, or you can find it on my website. Thank you so much, Dr. Soraya, for teaching us about the diet, Dr. Hunter for teaching us about beta-glucan. God bless you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.